Durham death investigation. A child is dead, another in the hospital. The questions we're asking police about this homicide investigation.
And our weekend weather maker brings rain on Sunday. I'll show you what time it gets here and how much we could see.
Austin Thompson's sentencing. A final decision is expected today on whether he will ever be eligible for parole. We'll show you the final arguments from the defense and prosecution. And President Trump at Fort Bragg, how he's expected to thank special forces involved in the capture of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. WRAL News at 8 on Fox 50 starts in less than 30 seconds.
At Leith Honda in Raleigh and Auto Park Honda in Cary, we make your buying process easy. And with every new car purchase, you'll enjoy complimentary oil changes and exceptional service. It's no wonder we've earned so many 5-star reviews. You'll also get peace of mind pricing with every used vehicle, and if it's not the perfect fit, no problem. Bring it back within 3 days for an easy exchange. Visit our showroom at Auto Park Honda in Cary or Leith Honda in Raleigh. It's easier here.
Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Thanks so much for joining us here on Fox 50. I'm Destiny Patterson.
And I'm Ken Smith. We're waking up to another chilly morning, and we got some rain on the way. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the Survey Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
Yeah, we're going to start this morning with a live look at Durham. We have beautiful clear skies all across the viewing area, but we're waking up to cold temperatures again. It's 29 right around the triangle. Fortunately, the wind is mostly calm. It does feel like 27 in Fayetteville, where it's 32, but we're not seeing widespread wind chills. It's 27 in Rocky Mount, 29 in the Triangle, 23 in Roxborough, 24 in South Hill. So it's a cold one this morning. This afternoon, not bad though, near normal. The highs will be in the low 50s with plenty of sunshine. And our Valentine's Day weekend, a little warmer on Saturday. It'll feel good for Valentine's Day with highs in the low 60s. And then on track for some rain for Sunday. I'll show you when the rain starts and how much we could see. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, happening now with the WRAL Traffic Center. Let's start outside, give you a look at that northern loop of the Beltline. This is I-440 near the New Bern Avenue exit. We were picking up a little bit of delay on that northern loop, but it's really in that area between the I-440 and 87 split over to Capitol Boulevard. But once you get past Capitol Boulevard, it's clear sailing all the way over to Wade Avenue right now. This is what we're talking about. You're looking at a 4-minute delay, but yeah, that's not something that's really going to make you late. That southern loop of the Beltline, though, we are picking up some congestion on that southern loop of the Beltline. You're looking at an 8-minute delay. That's the loop where you have the Rock Quarry Road, Lake Wheel, Gorman Street exits. But as far as other routes connected to I-40, you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, no delays whatsoever to report, including if you're navigating I-40 westbound through Wade Avenue, it's delay-free at this hour. As far as the other routes, we're only picking up a 5-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest, a 1-minute delay from Nightdale, and all the other routes are relatively delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. We have breaking news. One child is dead and another is in the hospital in Durham. Police are investigating the death as a homicide. Ali Kadlabar is on the scene on Chartwell Court and the WRAL breaking news tracker. Ali, you've seen a lot of police activity there this morning and really all night long.
Yeah, Destiny, and it just seems like each stage of this investigation that we've seen have just led to more questions as police have been out here for more than 14 hours now since 5:30 last night. And the main focus has been that home right there. They just took down police tape within the past 30 minutes and they closed the garage. But we've seen activity at this home all morning. We want to take you to this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. We saw a tow truck take an SUV out of the driveway, and we're working to find out why this SUV was towed. There was another car in the garage there as well, and that one was not towed. And so we've seen forensics crews also go inside the house as well, and they've gone inside that house and taken out full bags of possibly evidence. Now, this video from Sky 5 shows several Durham police cars and EMS in front of a home on Chartwell Court just yesterday evening. Police say officers found 2 small children unresponsive at the house around 5:30. Both were taken to the hospital. 1 child died, and police radio traffic indicates that 3 people actually needed medical treatment at the time.
I'm going to have at least 3 patients, 2 pediatrics and 1 adult that I can tell right now.
Now, this is just one of the things that we're working to confirm with police. We do know that a person of interest had been identified. We also know that they were investigating this as a homicide investigation. And within the past few seconds, we've actually seen all of the detectives and police officers leave the scene. Again, they had been out here for more than 14 hours. We are working to get answers to our many questions about this incident. We're going to keep you updated throughout the morning, throughout the day on WRAL. Reporting live in Durham, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Happening today, Raleigh mass shooter Austin Thompson will learn whether he will ever be eligible for parole. The judge in Thompson's sentencing hearing is expected to make a decision later this morning. Thompson pleaded guilty to killing five people in Raleigh's Hedingham community back in 2022. After 2 weeks of testimony, attorneys presented their closing arguments yesterday. The prosecution raised concerns about Thompson's problematic internet history. Both sides focused on the idea that an adverse reaction to acne medication caused him to commit the mass shooting.
This is the Hail Mary that they want to hang their hat on, to say it wasn't really his fault. He's accepting responsibility, but give him this mitigation because it wasn't really his fault, because it was the drug that really made him do it.
It's odd. I don't think there's another way to describe it. I'm baffled by it. That is Austin 2.0. The Austin who graduated. The Austin who chose to get baptized. Who chooses to engage with the religious services. Who has grown over the past 3 years.
You can watch our coverage of the sentencing hearing on the WRAL YouTube page. And make sure to watch the final day of the hearing that starts at 9:30 this morning. You can do so on WRAL.com and the WRAL YouTube channel.
We're following new measles developments in our area. Health officials confirmed another exposure, this time in Orange County. The contagious person in Orange County visited a Goodwill off of Weaver Dairy Road on February 6th. That now makes 10 different locations across our area that have been flagged for possible measles exposure. Health officials say an infected person visiting from South Carolina went to 5 locations in Raleigh. In Durham, an infected person traveled to 3 different locations. In Johnston County, someone went into the emergency room at UNC Health Johnston in Smithfield with measles. Of course, you can count on WRAL to track any new cases and exposure risks in our area. And you can find everything you and your family need to know about measles wherever you watch, on our website and on the WRAL News app.
Happening today, President Trump will be visiting troops at Fort Bragg. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey following this story for us this morning. And Kelsey, the president is expected to meet with special forces involved in that capture of Nicolas Maduro.
Yes, Ken, we're just hours away from Air Force One landing here in North Carolina. First Lady Melania Trump and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth will be joining President Trump for today's visit. The president and First Lady are scheduled to go to Pope Army Airfield, where they will meet with military families and members of the special forces who carried out an operation in Venezuela to capture President Nicolas Maduro. NBC News exclusively interviewed Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, yesterday.
Do you see Nicolas Maduro as the legitimate leader of Venezuela?
Sí, sin duda alguna.
So yes, I can tell you that President Nicolas Maduro is the legitimate president. They are both, President Maduro and Cilia Flores, the First Lady, are both innocent.
So we'll have a crew at Fort Bragg to keep you updated on President Trump's visit. You can follow along on WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Police in Arizona are releasing new information in the search for Nancy Guthrie. That includes new identifying details about the man seen on her front porch the morning she disappeared. Police say they're looking for a man between 5'9" and 5'10" tall with an average build. They say he was also carrying a black 24-liter Ozark Trail hiking backpack, similar to the one that you see here on your screen. The FBI says it's received more than 13,000 tips since the day Nancy Guthrie was reported missing. The FBI is offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in that case. WRAL has been following new developments in this case since the beginning. You can find our extensive coverage on the WRAL YouTube page. Just search Nancy Guthrie.
A new chapter in the Sean Stiegel saga in Cary. The former town manager's car was mentioned in a police report. Newly released public records show a 2016 police report references a car spotted leaving a suspected drug house. The driver of the car was not identified. Officers ran the license plate and connected the car to Stiegel. We should point out that Stiegel was not charged. Cary Police Chief Kerry Salt says nothing in the newly released documents requires further action. Now, we reached out to Cary's mayor about this. Mayor Harry Weinberg sent us a statement that reads in part, these documents are concerning and raise many questions for which we don't have answers, and we won't speculate on what happened nearly 10 years ago in the absence of facts and further evidence. We also reached out to Stiegel for a comment, but have not heard back. Time now, 8:10. Hiring for the State Highway Patrol. Several vacancies and no one to fill them. What's being done to recruit new troopers?
Now let's give you a live look at downtown Cary Park, the site of some Valentine's Day fun this weekend. We'll tell you about that event and more in Out and About.
And this weekend, we're following the chance of rain on Sunday. I'll let you know whether it will affect your plans and how much rain we can see coming up. It is 8:14, taking a live look at downtown Durham right now. We're seeing clear skies. It's a nice start this morning, at least in terms of sunshine, but it's also been very cold. The temperatures are starting to creep up a little bit. We're back up to 31 in Southern Pines, 30 in Roanoke Rapids, it's 29 in Raleigh and Durham, 27 in Wilson and Rocky Mount. We dipped into the mid-20s across a good bit of the viewing area early on. By 10 o'clock, we're up to around 39, and lunchtime temperatures should be around 45. Coming home this afternoon, temperatures will be in the low 50s. As we get into the evening, if you're headed out for dinner, temperatures will be right around 40 degrees at 8 p.m. We're looking at rain on Sunday. Meteorologist Grant Skinner coming up in just a few minutes to talk about how much we would need to get out of our current drought.
Well, Elizabeth, we're going to start on that southern loop of the Beltline here in the WRAL Traffic Center, I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The traffic, the camera's a little blurry, but you get the picture. Traffic is moving along at a nice, steady clip. And as we widen out the view, give you a look at I-40 westbound, that southern loop of the Beltline. Look at this, no delays whatsoever. About a half hour ago, if you were with us, we had like an 8-minute delay, but things are getting better. So you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, no delays. And if you're navigating I-40 westbound through Wade Avenue, delay-free at this hour. Coming up, we'll let you know about any delays on any of the other major routes heading into Raleigh.
Giving you a live look at Capitol Hill this morning. That's where time is running out for lawmakers to fund Homeland Security. Last night, Senate Democrats blocked a bill that would fund DHS for the next year. It was just 8 votes short of the 60-vote threshold needed. This vote comes as Democrats are demanding reforms in the agency's immigration operations. The deadline to pass a funding bill is tonight, but Congress is off all of next week for President's Day. All other federal agencies have been fully funded through September. The calls for reform stem from immigration operation crackdowns in America. That includes in Minneapolis, where Border Patrol will soon be leaving. Yesterday, Border Czar Tom Homan said immigration enforcement will continue in the city, just on a smaller scale. Thousands of Border Patrol agents have been there since November, leading to widespread protests. Since January, 2 people were shot to death by Border Patrol agents.
And this morning, the Federal Department of Justice is moving to drop charges against 2 Venezuelan men who officials claimed assaulted a federal agent. Last month, the Department of Homeland Security accused the 2 men of assaulting the officer while agents were conducting a traffic stop. The agent shot one of the men in the leg. The new court motion say newly discovered evidence is not consistent with the allegations. The motion is to dismiss the charges with malice, which means they cannot be recharged.
State troopers could use more help to keep North Carolina's highways safe. That's what Highway Patrol Commander Freddie Johnson told state lawmakers yesterday. The agency has more than 200 job vacancies. That's up 25% from only 6 months ago. Johnson says Highway Patrol is losing troopers to other law enforcement agencies in North Carolina, offering higher starting salaries.
Reasonable amount of time, we got to pay them right.
Patrol's request for higher salaries comes as lawmakers are at a stalemate over the fiscal year budget. Lawmakers are expected to debate state spending again in April. You can check the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com for the latest updates.
A 50-mile march across our state is getting closer to Raleigh. The Love Forward Together march, led by Bishop William Barber, crossed through Nash County yesterday. It ends tomorrow at the state capitol. The group will protest what it calls attacks against poor and low-income people and gerrymandering efforts to suppress voters in North Carolina's midterms. Republicans in the General Assembly have defended the maps. Lots of fun this Valentine's Day weekend all across the area.
I mean, can you tell I'm excited? I've got my pink on. It's time to take a look at WRAL's Out and About Best Bets. The Valentine's Day fun starts tonight. The city of Raleigh is hosting a Pals and Gals Vintage Valentine's Party. That event will include drinks, chocolates, and crafts. It'll be at the City of Raleigh Museum from 7 to 9. That event is for people 21 and older. You can find a link to register and to buy tickets on the city's website.
And for our runners, there will be a Cupid 5K run at Nightdale Station Park tomorrow. People are encouraged to dress for the occasion in pinks, reds, and wings if you have them. It's $20 to register, and the first 300 people will receive a race gift that starts at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And if you're still trying to find a spot for your date night, downtown Cary Park is a great option. The town is hosting a date night event in the park. It will include live music, food, and interactive art projects. The event is designed for couples 16 and older. The event runs from 5 tomorrow evening until 9 p.m. Now, for more weekend best bets, just go to WRAL.com and search Out and About.
Nice and sunny out there to go to some of these events, at least for now. Drought conditions continue across the state of North Carolina, but rain this weekend could bring just a bit of relief. Meteorologist Grant Skinner joins us now in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Grant, it would take a lot more rain over a longer period of time to really help our drought situation.
That's right. Over the past couple of days, I've looked into some of the data to look at how much rain it would take across our area to finally break out of these drought conditions. And it's a good bit, and I'll show you that in a second. But you can see across the state, the drought monitor as of yesterday, we have that new update. We still have a severe drought across much of the state, and we can see now an extreme drought over parts of areas just east of Charlotte. So that drought condition continues to worsen across the state of North Carolina. And here's a look at some of the rain that we would need across the state within a 1-month period in order to break out of that drought. The National Centers of Environmental Information kind of breaks us down into several different regions across the state, and you can see for areas down towards Fayetteville through Wilmington, around 7 inches of rain. Areas up through Greenville, up to the north towards Elizabeth City, around 6 to 7 inches of rain. And other spots back to the west, as high as 11 inches of rain needed within a 1-month period to finally break out of that drought. And the chance of the drought ending within a 1-month period, really low, really below 10% across much of the state. So around 6 to 8 inches of rain would be needed for our area within the next month. That's a less than 10% chance of getting that, really having us break out of that drought. Elizabeth, it's going to take a lot more rain than just one of these rain events like we'll see this weekend. It would take probably 4, maybe 5 rain events, and even more rain over a long period of time.
Grant, that was really good information. Thank you. You know, we started seeing dry conditions back in September, and so here we are in February, and it's just been months and months and months. So it will take us months and months to get out of the drought as well. We have a couple more chances of rain toward the latter part of the month, but it doesn't certainly look anything like 6 to 8 inches. Right now, it looks gorgeous outside. This is a live look from our Jimmy V camera down Fayetteville Street. Lots of sunshine out there, but a cold start. 29 is our temperature around the triangle. We'll see a high of 52 this afternoon. And then for Valentine's Day, we jump it on to 62. Should be nice and sunny with increasing clouds later in the afternoon. And then Sunday, we have a 100% chance of rain. And we're going to talk about the timeline for that in just a couple of minutes. Right now, we are dry and cool because of this high. This high pressure system is pushing in some cool, dry air, and our weekend weather maker is looking like this. Right now, it's still getting cranked up. It really hasn't even fully formed yet, but it rolls through here as we get during the day Sunday. It started to slow down a little bit in the models yesterday. It's about the same time frame, mostly in the afternoon. This is 10 p.m. Saturday, so if you're out and about with your Valentine, even through dinner time, you should be fine for Saturday night. And then Sunday morning, around 6 or 8 a.m., we begin to see some very light showers, but it's really after lunchtime that we start to see some of those heavier waves of rain coming through. That rain will be heavy at times overnight and is likely to linger into the morning commute on Monday, too. So 100% chance Sunday and Sunday night, and then a 30% chance on Monday. How much rain are we talking about? This is a look at our models and their estimate. Our in-house model that you just looked at was about an inch. The American model's at about 1.6, and the European model's at almost an inch. So we're feeling pretty comfortable that we'll end up with an inch of rain. There is a low risk that we could see some flooding on the streets, but it doesn't look like it would be anything serious. Checking temperatures, it'll be chilly with that rain on Sunday at 53, but look at this. Nice warm temperatures for Wednesday and Thursday, back to nearly 70.
Looking forward to that. Happening now in the WRAL traffic center. Boy, very low traffic right now. That northern loop of the Beltline as we look live at I-440 near the New Bern Avenue exit. We were picking up a little bit of a slowdown once you get to Capitol Boulevard between I-887 and the Beltline. Right now it's between Capitol Boulevard, but it's beginning to ease up just a little bit. Right now you're just looking at a 5-minute delay for that entire loop. Now that southern loop of the Beltline, boy, things have gotten a little jammed up there. But a half hour ago, I told you there were no delays. Right now, we're picking up a 6-minute delay. But if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County and I-40 westbound, no delays to report. More news, weather, and traffic after the break.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Your time now is 8:26. I'm Destiny Patterson. You start the weekend off with some nice sunshine, but we have some much needed rain that's on the way, Elizabeth.
We do. We're going to check out what you're going to see this morning. If you're about to head out to the door to walk the dog, our temperatures have been in the 20s. And as we get into the 9 o'clock hour, we'll climb on up into the mid 30s. At lunchtime, 45 and looking at 52 for the high this afternoon. Today's day is nice and bright, and even tomorrow we'll see good sunshine for Valentine's Day, and our highs will climb up to 62. So it'll be a nice warm day. Coming up, we're going to talk more about the rain on Sunday and how much we could see. Ken?
Well, Elizabeth, we're going to start outside here in the WRAL Traffic Center, give you a live look at I-440 near the New Bern Avenue exit. We're not picking up any delays in that particular area, but that northern loop has been a troubled spot this morning, particularly between I-87, 440 and Capitol Boulevard. But once you get past Capitol Boulevard, it's clear sailing all the way over to Wade Avenue. Coming up, we'll take a look at some of the other delays we're seeing on those major routes heading into Raleigh at the bottom of the hour.
In Durham, one child is dead and another is in the hospital. Police are investigating the death as a homicide. This happened last night on Chartwell Court. Investigators have identified a person of interest. We're working to learn if there have been any arrests. Happening today, Raleigh mass shooter Austin Thompson will learn whether he will be eligible for parole. The judge in Thompson's sentencing hearing is expected to make that decision this morning. You can watch our coverage of the sentencing hearing on WRAL.com and the WRAL YouTube channel at 9:30. Next on Fox 50, new parts of the triangle have been exposed to measles. And coming up on Today, Steph Curry on the All-Star Game and his new animated film, Go.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news, child homicide investigation. Police in Durham found 2 children unresponsive. The questions we're asking this morning.
And tracking our next weather maker, it's going to cross the country during the day tomorrow, arriving here on Sunday. I'll let you know what time the rain starts and how much we should see.
Raleigh shooter sentencing today. We expect to find out if Austin Thompson will ever be eligible for parole. A look at the closing arguments from prosecutors and Thompson's defense.
And President Trump visits today. He'll meet military members at Fort Bragg. How this meeting connects with the capture of Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela. Thanks so much for joining us here on Fox 50 at 8:30. I'm Destiny Patterson in for Laura Levine.
Yeah, and I'm Ken Smith. We've got a lot to get to in this half hour. The first of which, the forecast. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, the WRAL Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
And we got beautiful blue sky out there right now. And the crews here at Fenton are pulling up the skating rink. And I guess I know, right? Ken's like, no. I know, right? But we had a high in the 70s this week. We have another high in the 70s this coming week. So I guess it's time. However, it was really chilly this morning. We started off in the mid-20s to near 30. Right now it's 29 officially at RDU. Checking our wind chill. We haven't seen a whole lot of wind chill in the last hour or so, but earlier this morning we were feeling colder with a little bit of a breeze. So it's 28 in Roxborough, 27 in Rocky Mount, and 31 right now in Southern Pines. It'll be a relatively slow warm up. We'll make it into the low 50s for this afternoon, but that's actually pretty close to normal for this time of year, and we'll see lots and lots of sunshine. Saturday, even warmer, 62 with increasing clouds, and then the rain rolls in on Sunday. We really need the rain. I'll show you how much we could get and how it could affect your day Sunday. Ken?
Excellent, Elizabeth. Let's here in the WRAL Traffic Center, let's start with that northern loop of the Beltline, I-440 and New Bern Avenue. Boy, look at this. Traffic is flowing at a nice steady clip. We were picking up a little bit of a delay on this northern loop of the Beltline, particularly between I-87 440 interchange and Capitol Boulevard. But once you get past Capitol Boulevard, it's really clear sailing. You're right now really only looking at a 2-minute delay on that northern loop of the Beltline. Similarly, boy, things are getting a little topsy-turvy on that southern loop of the Beltline. Just a little while ago, it was up to about a 6-minute delay. So right now, delay-free on that southern loop of the Beltline. No delays whatsoever if you're coming in from Garner, Johnston County, or if you're navigating I-40 westbound through Wade Avenue, delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Durham police are investigating a homicide after 2 children were found unresponsive in a home and one later died. WRAL's Ali Kadlabar is at the Durham Police Department this morning. Ali, it was a very busy scene with police officers working for more than 12 hours.
Yeah, 15 hours, Destiny. We saw police there, and we saw a lot of that investigation unfolding right in front of us as we saw officers investigate the home where they found 2 children were unresponsive. And each stage of that investigation just leading to more questions. And we want to walk you through exactly what we saw at this home this morning. So the first bit of activity we saw was a tow truck pulling away an SUV out of the driveway. Now we're trying to figure out why it was taken and possibly taken into evidence, because there was another car in the garage that wasn't towed away. We also saw forensics go in and out of that house for several hours, leaving the house with bags full of evidence. This all comes several hours after officers got to the scene and found 2 children unresponsive at the house on Chartwell Court. Both were taken to the hospital and 1 child later died. Police have said that this is a homicide investigation. They say that they've identified a person of interest, and we have a lot of questions for Durham police this morning. We've reached out to them multiple times, and here's some of the questions on your screen that we've asked them. What was the cause of death of the child? Also, what is the current condition of the child who survived? And has the person of interest been charged? When we hear back with any updates, we are going to let you know. Reporting live in Durham, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Well, happening today, a judge will decide whether Raleigh mass shooter Austin Thompson will be eligible for parole. Thompson pleaded guilty to killing 5 people in Raleigh's Hedingham community 4 years ago. Attorneys presented their closing arguments yesterday, capping off 2 weeks of testimony as a sentencing hearing. The prosecution raised concerns about Thompson's problematic internet history, and both sides focused on the idea that an adverse reaction to acne medication caused him to commit this mass shooting.
To say that he was acting and didn't have a plan and know what was going on, I would submit to Your Honor, it is not believable when you look at the totality of the circumstances here.
Austin had no grievance, no cause, no extremism, no preoccupation, no escalating marination and violence. The state wants you to believe that this was very well planned and that he fits the mold of a typical mass shooter.
Well, you can watch our coverage of the sentencing hearing on the WRAL YouTube page, and be sure to watch today's final session today starting at 9:30. You can do so on WRAL.com and the WRAL YouTube channel.
We're following new measles developments in our area. Health officials confirmed another exposure, this time in Orange County. The contagious person in Orange County visited a Goodwill off of Weaver Dairy Road on February 6th. That now makes 10 different locations across our area that have been flagged for possible measles exposure. Health officials say an infected person visiting from South Carolina went to 5 locations in Raleigh. In Durham, an infected person traveled to 3 different locations. In Johnston County, someone came into the emergency room at UNC Health Johnston in Smithfield with measles. You can count on WRAL to track any new cases and exposure risks in our area. You can find everything you and your family need to know about measles wherever you watch, on our website and on the WRAL News app.
Happening today, President Trump will be visiting troops at Fort Bragg. Let's bring in WRAL's Kelsey Coffey following this story for us this morning. And Kelsey, the president is expected to meet with some special forces troops who captured Venezuela's president.
Yes, Ken, we're just a few hours away from Air Force One landing here in North Carolina. First Lady Melania Trump and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth will be joining the president today for his visit. The president and the first lady are scheduled to go to Pope Army Airfield, where they'll meet with military families and members of the special forces who carried out an operation in Venezuela to capture President Nicolas Maduro. NBC News exclusively interviewed Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, yesterday. Now, she says Maduro is still the legitimate leader of Venezuela, and he and his wife are innocent. U.S. Secretary of Energy Chris Wright explains how he views the power dynamic in the country.
So the Venezuelans are in charge here in Venezuela, but the United States has enormous leverage over the interim authorities in Venezuela.
We plan to have a crew there at Fort Bragg for the president's visit, so you can stay up to date on his trip on WRAL.com. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Independent Senator Bernie Sanders will be in Durham today. He's expected to speak around 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Durham Convention Center. He'll be there with Durham County Commissioner Nita Alam. Alam is trying to win a race over incumbent Congresswoman Valerie Foushee in the Democratic primary next month.
Police in Arizona released new information about the man seen on Nancy Guthrie's front porch the morning she disappeared. Investigators are looking for a man who's around 5'9", 5'10" tall with an average build. They say he was also carrying a black 24-liter Ozark Trail hiking backpack. It looks like the one you see here in this picture. The FBI says it received more than 13,000 tips since the day Nancy Guthrie was reported missing. The Bureau also increased the reward for information to $100,000.
Canadian officials identifying the victims of Tuesday's mass shooting. You see their pictures right here. 5 students were killed at a secondary school in the town of Tumbler Ridge. The suspect's 11-year-old stepbrother and a 39-year-old woman were found dead at the shooter's home. A teacher was also killed. Authorities identified 18-year-old Jessie Van Rooselaar as the shooter. She dropped out of school 4 years ago, and investigators say she was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The former Cary town manager Sean Stiegel's car was mentioned in a police report. The 2016 report references that a car was spotted leaving a suspected drug house. That's according to newly released public records. The driver of the car was not identified. Officers ran the license plate and connected the car to Stiegel. Stiegel was not charged, and the Cary police chief says nothing in the newly released documents requires further action. We reached out to Cary's mayor about this. Harold Weinbred says, quote, "These documents are concerning and raise many questions for which we don't have answers, and we won't speculate on what happened nearly 10 years ago in the absence of facts and further evidence." We also reached out to Stiegel for a comment, but we haven't heard back.
Halifax County plans to address persistent water issues this weekend. People living in Halifax County are still reporting issues with low water pressure. Crews will begin repairing valves tomorrow morning. Residents went without water for days last week, triggering a state of emergency. A third-party contractor broke the water lines while digging. That set off a domino effect lasting more than a week.
It's NBA All-Star Weekend, and you can catch all the action right here on WRAL. The best players in the NBA will be on the court both tomorrow and Sunday in California. Those games get started at 5 o'clock p.m. both days.
Time now 8:40, avoiding a funding collapse. Washington is getting closer to another potential government shutdown, while immigration enforcement is at the center of this one.
Plus, remembering James Vanderbeek, fans are honoring the beloved TV star with deep ties to Wilmington, how one local landmark connected to his biggest role and how they're honoring his legacy.
Heading outside, encountering another cold morning as we look live at the Pinehurst Resort and Country Club there. Ahead, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner breaking down the timing for the rain we're expecting this weekend.
8:44, we have started with a gorgeous day. This is a live look at downtown Apex, looking down through Salem Street, lots of sunshine, and we're seeing that everywhere. But it was a cold start. A lot of people were walking out the door this morning to temperatures in the mid-20s. We're warming up slightly. It's 32 in Goldsboro and Fayetteville right now, 31 in Southern Pines, 32 Lewisburg, 31 in Tarboro. So we're getting there. We'll see temperatures warming up into the low 50s for this afternoon, making it a nice afternoon to head out to the park. And it is a Friday. Tomorrow, even warmer if you're headed to the park. Our high temperatures will be in the low 60s. We are on track for some rain on Sunday. I'll show you what time it arrives and how much we might see. Ken?
I'm sure the little ones will be dragging us to the park tomorrow. Hey, listen, let's start outside, give you a live look at I-440 near the New Bern Avenue interchange. We're not picking up any major delays in that particular area. I do want to check a couple of secondary routes that tend to get busy as the morning wears on. Right now, we're looking at a 4-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest to 540. Similarly, we're not picking up any delays whatsoever for our friends in Roseville coming in on 401. Coming up, we'll take a look at any delays we're seeing on some of the other major routes into Raleigh.
Thanks, Ken. A divided Washington is on the brink of another government shutdown. This time, it centers on funding for the Department of Homeland Security and Immigration Enforcement. Senate Democrats blocked a funding bill yesterday, pushing for changes to ICE operations. If no deal is reached, agencies like FEMA, TSA, and the Coast Guard could be partially impacted for at least 11 days while lawmakers are on recess. New this morning, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has arrived in Munich. Rubio plans to use this weekend's Munich Security Conference to address what he sees as a major turning point in global geopolitics. Rubio said the international balance of power is shifting rapidly and that longtime alliances are evolving. He indicated that the U.S. and its European partners will need to reassess their roles.
Goldman Sachs top attorney is stepping down. Kathy Rumier's resignation follows renewed scrutiny tied to the Justice Department's release of the Jeffrey Epstein documents. She has said that her relationship with Epstein was strictly professional. Her resignation takes effect June 30th.
Breaking in the WRAL Live Center, we are digging into January's inflation numbers. The Consumer Price Index report just got released, and the data shows that consumer price growth slowed to an annual pace of 2.4%. That's compared with a year earlier and down from 2.7% in December. What that also means is core inflation falling to its lowest level in nearly 5 years. But this comes after the cost of food, gas, and rent soared after the pandemic. Consumer prices still about 25% higher than they were 5 years ago. Now, this report could give the Federal Reserve a little more confidence that they can lower their interest rates without another inflation burst.
Families in North Carolina are paying respects to actor James Vanderbeek. A memorial is filling with flowers in downtown Wilmington. Vanderbeek starred in Dawson's Creek, which was filmed in North Carolina. The actor's death hit close to home for people there, including the manager of one downtown restaurant, Hell's Kitchen. The restaurant started on the set of Dawson's Creek and has stayed open more than 20 years later.
And we get a lot of people from all over, some from internationally coming here to check out the bar, check out the what's going on with the merchandise and with all the memorabilia and such.
Vanderbeek died Wednesday of colon cancer. He was just 48 years old.
The DMV says you can expect shorter lines at its locations. WRAL talked with DMV spokesperson Marty Holman about the current wait times. He said wait times across the state are on average 45 minutes. That's actually down the 2-hour wait time nearly a year ago. This is helpful for those who cannot book an appointment online.
Have to have an appointment. You can come as a walk-in. Our walk-in wait time is between 30 and 45 minutes right now across the state.
Well, this reminder, Monday marked the end of expanded hours. DMVs will now open at 8 in the morning.
Well, we're following some exciting events at the Milan Cortina Winter Games today. This morning, medals have been awarded for men's 10,000 meter speed skating. And at 1 o'clock, men's figure skating will take center stage. Team USA's Ilya Malinin is a favorite as he continues to bring out the impressive backflips on ice. And later this afternoon, the U.S. women's hockey team will compete in the quarterfinals against Italy. Here's a look at the medal count this morning. Italy is number 1 on their home turf with 17 medals. Norway is in second after earning gold and bronze in men's 10,000 meter cross-country skiing this morning. Team USA is in third with 14 medals. Austria and Japan round out the top 5. Well, the special engagement at the Olympics, it's time for What's Trending.
Yeah, let's start with Taylor Swift trending this morning, responding to a special moment at the Winter Games. Gold medalist Breezy Johnson got engaged to her boyfriend Connor Watkins after Johnson crashed on the Super G competition. The ring box was engraved with song lyrics from Swift's The Alchemy. To that end, Swift commented on Breezy's Instagram with lyrics from the same song.
Honestly, that's so sweet. And I feel like that day was probably really bittersweet. So It's good to end things on a high note there.
Big fan of that.
Yes. Researchers are tracking great white sharks off the North Carolina coast. One of them is named Contender. It's the largest male great white ever tagged by the nonprofit group O-Search. Contender weighs 1,700 pounds and is nearly 14 feet long. It's humongous. He and 3 other sharks are swimming off our coast. Experts say great white sharks migrate south this time of year for warmer waters, food, and finding a mate. But there's no need to worry about your beach trip this summer. Contender is about 45 miles offshore right now, and these sharks will likely be somewhere else by then. So, I mean, like I said, you know, if you're heading to the beach this summer, you won't have to worry too much. Looking at this weekend, though, we're getting some much needed rain, Elizabeth.
We are. And, you know, it was so much fun this morning. We were watching at 5:15 when the SpaceX SpaceX rocket, I should say, took off and headed for the International Space Station. And we got so many great pictures from all of you. This is Marissa in Wake Forest. You can see that pretty view as it's sort of arcing across the sky there. We have another one. This one is from April Bennett from Eflin, and you can see just how much it lit up the sky as it moved on by. So thank you all for sending us those photos. Anytime you want to send us a photo of anything, you can go to WRAL.com/reportit. It was a cool start this morning. We'll see highs in the low to mid 50s this afternoon, which is close to normal. A warmer day for Valentine's Day. It's going to be a nice one with temperatures in the low 60s, and then the much needed rain arrives on Sunday. And we'll walk through the timeline for that. You know, we had a high this week in the 70s, another high this coming week in the 70s. So there it goes, the skating rink at Fitton and Cary. It was a lot of fun while it lasted. 29 is our temperature, so we're still below freezing in the Triangle. It's 33 now in Apex and Holly Springs and 36 in Fuquay Varina, but still 26 in Chapel Hill and 29 in Rollsville. 24-hour temperature change. It's about 5 to 10 degrees colder than this time yesterday. Our afternoon highs will be similar to yesterday. Temperatures in the low to mid 50s with lots of sunshine. Our Valentine's Day planner looking good. Our high temperatures will be into the low 60s, and we're looking at, of course, the cool air with us today, but we're watching that potential for showers as we get through Sunday. The rain will start early Sunday morning, but very, very lightly. There's 6 a.m., and it becomes heavier as we get into the afternoon. There's 5, 6 o'clock, and you can see that heavier rain. Our high temperature on Sunday likely to be at 53, and then more warm air is in our forecast. Look at this, 60s and 70s for next week.
Nice sunshine on the way. We just got to get through the rain. Before we go to break, here are the winning lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic. That's coming up next.